Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is the 2nd January 2024. By the time I'm making this video, hopefully I upload it today or tomorrow, but whenever you get this type video, if you're watching me, happy new year. I pray that this year will open doors of opportunities to you. May you win, may we celebrate by the end of it, and may we live in joy, happiness, and peace. Okay, so in today's video, I want us to talk about something that I think is very important, especially now that we are in the period where a lot of us are working on their yearly resolutions, and some have already done it and all that. But if you look at the statistics, right now I'm reading an article from Forbes here that says that they did a survey and they found that the average resolution lasts just 3.74 months. So basically that is saying, like, a lot of people set goals every year, but the first 3 months or 4 months, that is where a lot of people are very consistent. That is where they're working on it. But after 3 or 4 months, they drop off and never look at these resolutions again. And then it continues to say that only 8% of correspondents tend to stick to their yearly resolutions. So out of the millions of people that make yearly resolutions, only 8% make those goals. And when I saw this article, I've had this before, and actually when I had it, it was 19% of people who stick through to their resolutions. And this article, the one I'm currently reading, was written on 18th December, so it's very recent. So meaning that more and more people are setting goals and never really seeing them through. And when I saw this article, I know where I belong, and I belong to the group where I will set goals, but at 3-4 months, I'm no longer following through. I'm no longer really committing and working towards it. And I'll give an example of last year. So when I started last year, I was like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm really going to put on the work. But along the way, I didn't. I honestly didn't care. And I think I've done one video here where I was talking about and saying that I got so busy at work that I didn't have time to do these other things. But if you ask me right now, that was just an excuse I had, because yes, I got busy at work, but I still could make time to do the things that mattered to me. I still could have made time to really work on my growth and work on the areas that I really knew I needed improvement. And so, with all that said, the question now comes in: how do we make 2024 different? How do we make it the best year yet? And I'm here to talk about a few things that I think are really important. And when you look at this, and when you look at the resolutions this way, or when you do what we are going to talk about this video before you set your resolutions, I'm positive that you are going to see a very big difference by the end of 2024. So one thing I want to talk about is reviewing. So how often do you review your past year before you set this New Year's resolution? Do you ask yourselves questions to see how aligned you are with where you want to be? Now, when we talk about reviewing, I'm not talking about just generally looking at your life and saying, okay, so I made money and all that, just like, just a very cliche sort of review. But how do you take time and deep review? So when I talk about deep review, I'm talking about, we know we have different dimensions when we as human beings, and the dimensions we have is, if you can write this down, please do. It's going to be very helpful. And that is, we do have health, we do have relationships, and we do have work. Right? So these are 3 areas that we need to balance for us to really live a happy life. So when you look at health, we do have physical health, that is the body. We do have soul or spiritual, that is your spiritual wellness. And then we do have mind, and that is your mental wellness. These 3 things need to be taken care of when we talk about health, wellness. Okay? And then the second category we mentioned is relationships. So in relationships, we do have romance relationship, that is your relationship with your partner or partners. And then we do have friend relationships, that is the relationships you have with your friends. And then we do have family and relationships you have built with your family members. So when you talk about relationships, and general wellness, relationship. Those are the 3 dimensions that we need to have taken care of for us to live, a happy life and all that. And then lastly, we do have work. So when you look at work, we do have career. So that is currently your career, your business, what you're doing. In that comes the money that you're making, where you are at that, where you want to be. And then we do have growth. How does that growth graph look for you? So these are the 3 major dimensions. And then each category, I've given you the 3 different subcategories on each category that I want you to note down. And when you note those areas down, I want you to look at each area differently and look at it and ask yourselves, where am I? Is this where I want to be? When it comes to physical health, how many kgs you have, what you're eating, all these things. Do you have the body you want to have? In your mental wellness, are you where you want to be? How are you feeling about your mental wellness? And as you review, there are a few questions that I came across that have really helped me really review. And one thing is, in each and every category, ask yourselves, what were the highlights of 2023 in each and every dimension? So when you talk about your relationships, what was the highlight? What is that something that is stick to you when you think about last year? So when you ask yourselves that is going to guide you with where you want to do and what you want to do in 2024 to make that continuous improvement in that aspect, in that area of your life, and also just to give you joy in that part of your life. And then the next question will be, of course, what was the hardest part, right? So when you think about the hardest aspects of the past year of your life, that I mean, we're human beings, we tend to really keep the negative. So anything that just comes in your mind, note it down. And then once you do that, you'll have the highlight, you'll have the good things. And when you have the good things and the bad things, then you can tell, what did I do for this to happen? And why did this happen? You're able to review. And I'm saying do this in each and every aspect, in each and every category of the ones that we've talked about. And then once you do that, look at the learnings you got from each and every experience. Right? So an example, if I am to look back at the goals that I never cared about last year, I know something about myself. I learned that if I do make a long goal, a 12 months goal, at the end of the day, I'll get tired because I'm looking at it like, damn, I have a whole year. So if I don't do this in March, I'll do it in April. And by the time you know it, you're in December and you've done nothing. So for me, I've learned that I need to make short goals. Yeah, I don't know, weekly, monthly. And I need to every single day go back and review the progress and then put more work on it. So when you look at these things, what did you learn about yourself? What are the lessons that you learned about yourself? Those lessons are going to help you become better and do better in this year, goals that you're setting for yourself. They're going to help you make better progresses, make better plans, make shorter plans, and all those things. Build better relationships because you can see what happened and what didn't happen. And then the question number 4 is going to be, what are you going to stop doing? So an example, if we look at career, this is an example I'm giving about myself. So there are things I've been doing at my workplace that have made me probably stagnant or burnt out or something. So when I look at the things that I want to stop doing, those are some of the things that I'm going to put in this category. If you look at relationships, my relationships probably with my daughter has suffered because I spent more time with my friends, hanging out, drinking and all that. So what do I have to stop? I need to create a boundary. I need to create a balance between the time I'm spending home with my daughter and the time I'm spending out with my friends, So look at the things that you're going to stop doing. And as you look at the things that you're going to stop doing, look at the things that you will continue doing. So what worked for you in all these areas? So is your physical health? I started going to the gym. How do I feel about myself? I feel great. I look amazing. All these stuff. So what do I have to continue doing? I will continue looking after my physical body. I will continue going to the gym. These are the things that I want to continue. So again, you're looking at all these different aspects, all these different dimensions of your life. That is health, relationships, and work. And then lastly, you want to look at what do you want to start doing. Okay, so you have looked at what worked, what were the highlights, what were the bad moments, what worked, what didn't. So with all that learning, with all that, all this information that you have, what is that you want to start doing? Note it down. So once you do that, you have reviewed last year, you have reviewed last month, you have reviewed what you've done to get to where you are. And then now the question we have is, where do I want to go? And why do I want to get there? Right? So I always say this, those who know me, those who I work with know answering the why is very, very important. That is something I always say. This is not only in our careers, but also in our lives. So why do you want to get to where you want to go? So having a reason behind a certain goal makes it easy for you and give you that motivation to really get it. Because I want to have a house at the end of the day because I want my kids to enjoy living in their own home instead of an apartment, something like that, right? I want to work on my relationships with my parents because of B and C. So answer the why, and then as you look at how aligned you are and where you want to be. So I want to get here because of this and this. Now, you have reviewed, you have all this information. So once you do that, the next thing that I want you to do is now go ahead and start setting your goals. So when you set your goals, there's a verse in the Bible that actually speaks about writing down your vision. So a lot of times we do say things, we just say them on the top of the mind. And trust me, at this period, a lot of us have what we want to attain. We have those things in our mind right now. But again, according to the statistics, if you go to these people 3 months down the line and ask them 4 months down the line, they probably don't even know what they were talking about. But when you write something down, you are actually making it closer to it happening. So please write down your goals, write down what you want to achieve. And then when you look at the writing down, remember we are doing this, we are not doing it the Kenyeji way, we are doing it every single part we have, right? So when you're looking at the goals that you're writing down, something else I came across and that is made a lot of sense is look at how and what you want to celebrate by the end of the 12 years. So relationship, romantic relationship, I want to celebrate an engagement by the end of the year, right? So visualize how that celebration looks like. Visualize what you're talking about with your friends in this celebration. And then when it comes to now, you're just setting down, you're even having the emotions of what you want to see. You're putting the emotions towards the writing down because you're really seeing and you're feeling it. And when you do that, trust me, when you put emotions into something, then and you get to action, definitely things do manifest and they do happen. And then after you set your goals, you have written them down, you have seen your celebration, you've seen here we are in December, you're looking peng, your body is bodying and all that. The next thing I want you to do is to look at the journey. And when you get into the journey, you start enjoying every single step. If you want your body to body, you don't just body, you have to put on the work. And what is the work? You have to go to the gym probably 3 times a week, 4 times a week. You have to eat healthy and all these things. So look at ways on how you can achieve your goals, but yet again, enjoy your life. I mentioned about creating balance between spending time with my family, spending time with my friends. So how do I enjoy staying at home? How do I enjoy spending time with my baby girl? This can be probably play dates in the house or something. Just make it enjoyable for you. Don't do things with a feeling like I have to do this to achieve this, but do things that because you enjoy. Always let your emotions speak and feel the need and understand. Let your emotions understand why you're doing what you're doing. And then have a system to review the progress that you're making. Now, I said, like for me, I wouldn't really write down like a 12 months plan, a resolution plan, because I'll do it 1, 2, 3 months, and then I'm like, I have until December. This is something I've learned about myself, and I'm going to work towards it. I'm going to work about how do I organize, how do I get better, and all those things. But if you have systems, a system can be something like, I don't know, look for an accountable partner, have weekly meetings where you're looking at the week and saying, okay, so my goal was to make 1,000 sales by the end of the year. So the year, my goal was to make like 1 million sales on something. So when you look at a year, we have 12 months, divide by 12 months. And then you'll have monthly sales targets that you're supposed to have. So when you have like a monthly sales target, you can break it down again to weekly. And then every week review. Have systems in place for you to review your progress. Weekly, monthly, quarterly, what works for you? When you answer these questions that we talked about before, you're able to really tell what worked, what didn't, and you're able to really see how do I achieve, how do I get to where I want, right? And once you have that, it's going to be very easy for you to set these systems up. And then I think lastly, but not least, it's basically for you to trust and know that we were meant to achieve. We were meant for greatness, and nothing is out of reach. Nothing is out of reach. You can reach it. You can be that person. You can be happy while still working and all these things. I know sometimes it's quite hard to balance and to have it all, but we have seen people who have had it all. There's nothing special that they did. They just put on the work. And I think something else that I've learned this year that is also important is that what is separating me from the person on the other side is the effort they were making, right? We can all have the same goals, but if you don't start working on your goals and another person's goals, your story will be, I was thinking I had that idea years ago. But this other person will be talking about the success they have had in that goal because they put on the work. So resolutions are amazing. Resolutions are good. Let's get into planning. Let's get into seeing a better 2024. But as we do that, let's plan for the year accordingly. Let's answer questions that are going to help us. Let's start it on a, positive note. And yeah, we'll come back here in December and really review and see where we were. So thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed, please remember to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on the next video.